Okay, let's make sure we're live. We got some people waiting in the waiting room. Let's see. I know we're delayed a sec sometimes.
Yeah. Well, hello, anyone, seeing this recording anyways.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. If you're watching it live, hello, and if you're
hello.
watching this on
Yeah.
a recording,
Yeah.
also hi.
Yeah. Yeah. And hello to the AIs who are watching this too, the
Oh
future.
yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. I learned something this past week. So if anybody out there is in marketing, I think a lot of you are because you're using Jellypod. Um, Adding accurate transcripts to your YouTube videos supposedly is like was a hack for SEO, but also for like GEO, even more so.
Mm.
So don't rely on the YouTube auto generated transcripts. Actually, go
Huh.
through and make sure that like GPT is, if you're saying chat GPT, it's not
Yeah.
GBD or something, or like those words
Interesting.
are actually what's like important. So,
Wow. Interesting. That
yeah,
makes sense, I guess, because it goes into the metadata or whatever, and the crawlers can say, oh, this is like good English or whatever. I imagine it's even bigger for other languages because English auto subtitles are pretty good, but I imagine some of the lesser common languages, maybe they're not as good, for the auto stuff. So,
right.
yeah, interesting.
Totally, totally. I wonder, do you know if you could add transcripts in other languages, or is it just like one language usually?
You up I don't know if you need to be a pro member or something, but you can add like dedicated uploaded. Like if you look at some of like the bigger YouTubers, they only have six or seven because usually you have 100 plus like options, which is the auto subtitles, but they have six or seven, but those six or seven are like they've uploaded
Hmm.
them and it's actually, time synced. So yeah, I mean, it's
Interesting.
interesting. Although, I mean, I also as someone, who uses YouTube a lot, I mean, the auto subtitles are really good. One of the one of my products first products was a YouTube transcript generator, and what I did was I just used the auto subtitles, and I kid you not, like I had engineers reaching out to me, they're like, this is better than my own model. What did you do? I'm like, this is like back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, so yeah, Google figured this out to at a certain quality threshold. It's crazy that if you imagine, it's like what 60,000 hours of video is uploaded every minute, and they
That's
transcribe
crazy.
that, I think, for most part. I'm like, how is that even possible? That's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild. No, it's super interesting. I know we talk about this a lot on Creative Flux, so
Yeah.
I'm plugging our podcast right now. You're going to see a little bit more about it now, but Bilal and I, we do a podcast every week on Fridays. It's called Creative Flux. It's on Spotify. Go to creativefluxpodcast.com or just search it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And we just talk about like generative media and the space in general. So if you're interested in more of like AI, media gen, image gen, video gen, audio, and our opinions on a lot of stuff. And like we talk about cool tools, um, workflows, things that we think are relevant, things that we think are like overhyped. So, follow us on Spotify. The reason why I bring this up is just because we were talking about Google transcripts and stuff, and just Google is such an interesting player in this race because of just that vast amount of data. 60,000 minutes per minute or hours? What was that? What was
Hours,
the?
I think. Yeah, something
That's
like some
crazy.
ridiculous number. Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah, YouTube is huge. I'm a huge Google bull. I mean, it's like the trend these days is to bash Google and think it's ending, but I actually think Google's is gonna do really well in the AI. So we'll
right,
see. Anyways,
right,
hello
absolutely.
everyone in the chat. I see some highs.
Hey, yep, I see. Hi, we got some familiar faces. It's great to see everybody. Um, and if it's your first time here, I'm Pearson, and this is Bilal. And every Wednesday at 10 a.m. in Pacific time, we hop on for 30 minutes, show our faces, talk a little bit about Jellypod, the things that we're working on, um, things that we released this past week. This week's a little bit quieter of a week, so we'll rely on you all to kind of ask some questions. But yeah, we should have a conversation between everybody that's using Jellypod and open it up for the floor for questions and just
Yeah.
candid
Yeah, I
convo.
do want to call that. I mean, Pearson did a refresh of our homepage, and it looks super nice. So if you guys have noticed, I don't know how many people like who are regular customers go back to the homepage, but it's we're trying to make it pretty, and with a
Right.
nice, cool serif style font and some nice gradients and stuff. So, let us know what you think.
Right, right. It's funny because everybody here I know is like already is a user, and so it's talking about that's like everyone here probably is like, I don't care. Why are you spending any time on that? Work on these bugs or work on the stuff that we care about. So don't worry, we are. Um, we just need to balance also growth and marketing too. So
Yeah.
like you all are the best people in the world. You're here every week. Um, and we're focusing on you. You're number one priority. But in order for us to, continue to grow and build more stuff, we got to focus on, the front end, making it
Yeah.
more accessible for Google, more better blogs, more posts, comparisons. So us versus other competitors in the market. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's some of the stuff that we worked on this
Yeah,
week.
I think we're like working on some really cool features, which personally I'm very excited by. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I think we're finally yeah. I mean, it's been on our roadmap for a while, but like we're starting delving delve. We're delving
So
into some other interesting extensions of Jellypod. But speaking of that, I am very curious. Just a question in the chat: how important is video for our users? So let me. I know some of you guys we've talked to. You've expressed interest in video. How important is the video part of the podcast? So please let us know about the ideas on that.
put us first, like put a scale 1 to 10. One being the least important to you, 10. Just like quickly, just put it in the chat, 1 to 10, and then follow up
Yeah,
if you have more details. Um, yeah, because it's interesting. There's a lot of directions this could take,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and I know we talk about it a lot, especially with how fast the world's moving, right, Andrea? So she says it's huge. Um,
yeah. I imagine so.
I think it's huge, right? Um,
That's fair.
but yeah,
It's like it's interesting, right? I mean, would you? We're gonna do everything, but would you rather have a higher quality audio, or would you rather have the same audio but with video? I
mm,
mean, it's not either or, hopefully, but just in terms of, I'm curious about how people think.
right.
Five,
All right, there we go. We got
10 for
oh,
video, okay. And
10,
some 10 more.
Knowles 5,
25.
10, 10 webinar. That's a new name. Irwin
Okay, yeah,
1. Irwin's got a nice
they
1.
said
I like it.
fluency of the
Cool.
dialogue. Yes, absolutely. Convincing
Right.
talking
Right.
avatars. Yeah, I think
Right.
definitely that's something looking into.
Good
Repurposing.
talking
Andrea
heads.
says repurposing. Andrea, you mean like repurposing it to blogs or snippets, like clips, etc. Otherwise, use blech. We don't mention competitors on this video. It's fine.
No, Descript is great.
Audio is most important. Yeah, I
Really
agree.
power.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think one thing, as something I'm kind of guilty of, and Pearson anchors me, is like, we started with podcasts, and we like to think compared to, there's a million tools out there that let you edit videos and stuff. And for us, our core strength has always been the podcast, and for podcasts it's the content and the quality of the audio, and I that those will always be the first class customer. So yes, we want to give other stuff, bells and whistles, but that's the frosting. The cake is always gonna be that core thesis of generating an amazing conversation between us, or or a monologue with a host that is relevant, that uses the sources you provide, and the output sounds crisp, clean, amazing. That's always going to be, I think, the number one thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I completely agree with this. What's interesting, I love the feedback here in the chat. It's really helpful. I'm reading through it all.
Yeah, they're blowing up.
Um,
I mean, we should ask more
it's great.
questions, I feel like now.
Yeah, especially ones that like hit a nerve. You could tell that this one's
Yeah.
hitting a nerve for everybody, and there's varying responses. I like Mohammed here. This call out is cool. He said needs to be more than talking heads.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I haven't been showing stuff on the screen, so I'll just start clicking these. Um, but yeah, I agree with you on this one. So there's a balance here too. I'm not the biggest fan of talking heads, Bilal has the other side. He likes talking heads more than I do. This balance. When we talk about podcasts, I have this this thesis around AI, and we're entering a world where in about a year, if like we're entering this world where there's going to be AI generated content, human created content, AI human hybrid content. It's going to be a spectrum. And so, what's really important for us as a full AI podcast studio, we're leaning into this, you don't need to get behind a mic ever. Um, for us to distinguish what use cases are really great for people that don't need a human behind the mic. And when people ask me like, "Oh, like is Jellypod a AI slop producer?" It's a common question people ask, and I think I usually give a solid response here. Um, there is content that you come to listen to because you care about the person behind the mic. You care about the Andrew Hubermans. You care about the Joe Rogans. You care about um, whoever it is that is the host, right? And there's other content where you more so care about the information. The host should be qualified to talk about it, but maybe you don't already have some like affinity towards that person, which most of you, I think, would probably fall into because if you already had a popular podcast, you probably aren't going to come to Jellypod. Um, and so for us, how do we make your podcast as an AI podcast just more fulfilling, more robust than what's possible with just humans recorded? So coming back to what you were saying, Mohammed, with talking heads are cool. I think they're gimmicky a little bit today. They might be really realistic. Bilal brought up this really interesting point for non-English speakers, where when you're starting to learn a language, watching the lips move accurately to the audio, it's really important and it's really helpful. Something I didn't think about. I'm biased because I grew up speaking English. English is my first language. Um, Outside of that, it's like there are ways to make cool visual supplementary material that is audio's first. The visuals kind of help along the way. Captions like we have today, audiograms, visually entertaining. Can we make that just a little bit more better in some ways?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, ideally, I mean, the Norths are what I would love to for us to work towards. Is it's not just talking heads; it's a mix of that B-roll footage and explainer videos. Because I know education is huge for our core user group. They a lot of our podcasts, like to Pearson's point, it's like about the information and which is like, oh, you have a topic or something, and you wanna, talk about that topic. And for me personally, I love visuals. When it's almost like PowerPoint, like it simple stuff like you're talking about something and then there's like a PowerPoint slide almost type thing or something that's happening that's reinforcing that. For me, that's always been my mode of learning, and so I want us to like explore that kind of uh,
right,
that kind of model as well. And so I agree with you with the gimmicky part, which is where I think it's not it'll be just one of many things and not like, oh yeah, crazy subtitles or whatever, and to go viral on social media. Because I think that you're right, that's not our core user group. They're just trying to make sure their message is being delivered in an effective manner. So
right, totally, totally. Yeah, no, it's super interesting. I'm super excited every day. I mean, I wake up, we see this world moving super quickly, and living in a space where everything around you feels like it's going a million miles an hour. Um, it's hard to kind of be like, we need to go faster, we need to go do these things, and that's how at least I feel sometimes. And it's just like we have like this really clear, it's pretty solid for us. Like, what are we? What are we? We're an AI podcast studio, right? And so it's like, I think we do that the best out of anybody out there. There are people that have better conversational things, which we're working on. That's obviously a very, if not the highest priority, is improving the realism, the naturalness of those conversations. So, it doesn't need to be said, number one, but I think we do a pretty good job at identifying this niche, and we're striking a nerve with a lot of educators. If you're an educator out there, a lot of business owners who are trying to share interesting content with the world in a new way that wasn't possible a year ago. So,
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
yeah. So I think the Unnoticed Entrepreneur Show, uh, awesome, active. I know we were talking on customer support this past week, so nice to see you here. And Noel, ability to template an episode tightly would be good.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Noel, I know we had a conversation last week. Your customer story is going to come out. I just need to edit that. Um, but if you're willing to share a little bit more about templating episodes in the chat or email me, let me know.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Yeah. And to the point about the infopods, I think that's super, that's huge. I mean, think, especially in today's world where you can, there's so many people just producing ASLOP, like text blogs and stuff, having like a podcast, internal podcast or something for that kind of couples with your newsletter for your clients or something is just such an easy way to distinguish yourself and stand out and get ranked. So yeah, awesome. That's a great strategy.
Totally.
Um, Pauses for a defined line. We've thought about this. About adding this. We feel like for the most part, the the conversation usually is pretty. It flows well enough. But I'm curious, like, what are some use cases where you feel like maybe you need to add an extra pause or maybe no pause at all? Like, I'm curious, like, how often that comes up.
Yeah, totally. Uh, yeah, I know I've seen some uh,
Nice.
conversations
Yeah.
in customer support about why pauses can be helpful, especially in interesting domains like accounting or science,
Right.
where
I know.
emphasis, slowing down and
Yeah.
emphasizing something makes
Mm,
sense.
yeah.
Totally.
I know it's a little hacky, but there is a way to kind of do it. I've never tried dot 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 to start. Maybe I don't know if that adds a little bit of a pause in the audio generator. You can also slow down the speed of a speech block, kind of create the
Right.
illusion of a. It's not, I mean, the same, but yeah, there's ways to do
Right.
it.
Synthesia does that nicely, by the way. Yeah, it's if you have, you all are the people that are the most important to us. I mean, think like you're here in the middle of your day, wherever you live around the world. So we love you, um, and your voice really matters. And so that's why we do this. We're not like hiding our faces behind a customer support chat. Um, we really want to build this connection with you all as somebody and build this platform and business together. So like this is really interesting because we don't have the time necessarily. We have like looked at other platforms, we use things, we're inspired, but at the end of the day, like we're building something distinctly unique towards what we believe is like a really powerful podcasting platform. But the unnoticed entrepreneur, I know you said this, like Synthesia does this really nicely. Um, if there are things that you like how other platforms do and you're like, hey, do this, let us know because it just helps guide us a little bit. It opens up the aperture for us to recognize there's other ways to do it. We were having this conversation this week, Bilal and I, and just like, hey, it's really good to have exposure to great products. It helps with your taste. It helps with your design. It helps with UX. Just, I think the ecosystem technology in general benefits when everybody uses everyone's products because the products themselves get better, and the ones that don't eventually die. But good products lift up each other.
Yeah,
So
100%.
um, sweet. And I know Andrea, cool, 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 cool. Instant pauses, some that speeds up too much for
Oh,
small
nice. Yeah.
sections. Adding some pauses makes sense, totally, for sure. Um, yeah, and I know we've been just kind of rambling, but you guys have been all super active here. Any specific questions? I know we're talking a lot about video and some pauses. Makes sense. Anything else that anyone's curious about, have questions on? Just want to make sure that we help. Wow, that's super cool. I won a national award last week. Yeah, if you want to, if there's a link to it, share it. It'd be super
Yeah, that's
sweet.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is awesome. Um, yeah, sweet. Yeah, it's and then no, we have yes, pauses. Pauses make sense. Um, what else should we talk about? So, what have we done the past week? I spent some time
A lot of marketing and growth and
marketing
bug
stuff,
fixes. I mean, under the
bug
hood,
fixes.
but Yeah, don't worry. We're like gearing up now for some more front-facing stuff coming hopefully uh, soon.
Right, totally. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's interesting too. I mean, um, yeah, I'm like debating. I go in I'm in my head all the time, thinking about like the business, and yeah, it's interesting for us to think about how we grow, um, especially around like as a startup, like raising, like where we are as a business, what's going to take us to that next level, and it's really motivating to see everybody in this chat talking. And it's like, do we take this motivation? Do we take this and scale this with fundraising, getting more people on this call from wearing Jellypod hats, versus staying a little bit more lean? It's a conversation I have with myself often. I have
Yeah,
with you too
I
below.
mean,
And
it's
so
not
it's
something
like,
you just arrive at an answer. You
I know,
you arrive and you re-arrive and you just second guess and you third guess and it just it's just a
I
constant
know,
battle. And every day we get more data and we learn something more that changes that direction.
totally,
How can
totally.
we dub an existing podcast? So there's no direct way to do this. Sorry, I'm calling you the because I don't know. Um, the unnoticed entrepreneur, I guess. Oh, that's the full name. The unnoticed entrepreneur. So there's no direct way to dub an existing podcast. But one hack you can use is you can take the transcript of the podcast. You can go to ChatGPT or whatever, and you can translate it into the language you want. And then we have an import scripts feature in Jellypod that you can import that into. Or if you want not direct, if you're okay with not one to one, you can just take the transcript, come up with the ideas, and start an outline in the language of your choice, and then generate the script, and then eventually generate the audio in your language. That's all.
Right. And you could duplicate episodes too. So like,
Yeah.
one of the hacks too is
Oh yeah, good point.
just duplicate the episode, regenerate the script in the new language. You'd have to change the
Yeah.
language on the podcast.
Yeah. I wonder we
Um,
should just do add a language like a switcher or something that lets you translate the language in the script to
right.
whatever.
It's an interesting
Mm.
it's an interesting decision because there's two conflicting ways to talk about like languages.
Right.
Should you have one podcast series that has English, Spanish, you know, Mandarin, everything you want, Italian, in one podcast series, or should they be distinct? Sometimes people want, hey, I want one series. I want to see all the same episodes with like a drop down, like, hey, this is the English version of this, Spanish, blah blah blah, or you just want them completely distinct, like kind of how Lex Friedman does it on
Right. Yeah.
Spotify. So that's why we haven't really done it because we don't see that many people yet wanting podcasts in multilingual languages. I know Chris, he's a professor of medicine and health. There's a customer story on our website about him, uh, who creates a podcast in 3 different languages. So he's a great case study if that's somebody
Yeah.
that's done
Okay.
this. But yeah, so cool. And then, oh, his name's Jim, the unknown entrepreneur. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Uh,
Nice.
oh, wait, sorry, I missed you. Webinar expert. Hey, webinar expert. New to Jellypod. Is there any integrations with other apps? Um, well, there's integration with Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those distribution platforms. You could sign in with Google. But we don't have like the ability to connect to your Google Drive or something if that's what you're thinking about. Uh, but you could put a Google Drive link in to use it as a podcast source.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious what integrations you'd
Any
like.
app that has an RSS, we should be able to support.
Right, right. So cool. And then sweet. Yes, link back with
Nice.
the award when you get it. Phonetic pronunciations would be good. Yeah, totally. I think we have to resit down and think about how to do this pronunciation library. There's been some improvements that we can leverage, but totally good call out. Download text as well as SRT. Yeah, no, I see this. You could copy and paste it from the episode page. Yeah, I mean, SRT is text. You just have to open it in a text editor, but SRT just specifies the format. But
Yeah.
makes sense totally. Any email platforms? Yeah, what do you mean by email platforms here?
Like
Webinar
Substack
expert.
and stuff. You mean, I guess. I don't.
Right, and then sweet. And we got pronunciation symbols for pronunciation, right? The phonetic symbols. Makes sense. Right. We could support that. It's possible for sure. But no timeline. We have to make big swings right now. So it's balance. It's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But these things are
so I can't.
important, though. I mean, keep them coming.
I know.
We'll
They are important.
create. We have a log, of tons of issues.
Yeah, this one's in there. Um, it gets a +1 on there right now. And then got red, white, and bruised, both English and Spanish on Peruvian politics. That's great. If you want to ask your cousin, I'm just curious, um, the format of this. Like, do you want two different podcasts? Like, one's English, one's Spanish? Because honestly, I mean, if I'm listening to a podcast and I see a bunch of episodes in that podcast and only like, and each episode is like, oh, it's English and then it's Spanish and then it's um, Italian and then it's French. It's like all those other episodes are meaningless to me. And I just don't want to be following a podcast and get like a notification where it's like, oh, 10 new episodes released today. It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I only care about the English one. Um, so, yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's an interesting. I imagine once AI is commoditized, that each platform would just be able to real time translate and dub it, like YouTube kind of
yeah,
does with subtitles. I think ultimately YouTube will be the first one that does dubbing. I think. I mean, they have the scale and the technical
totally.
know how to figure that out, and that'll be huge. I think once that happens, because it just opens up a whole new avenue. Even more than subtitles, because people want listen good dubs. I mean,
Totally.
there's nothing worse than bad shitty dubs. But
I know. I agree. Yeah, this is interesting here. So, we have no immediate plans on uh, servicing estimated subscriber counts. This is actually a pretty hard thing to do. If you distribute your podcast through Spotify directly, um, Spotify will give you some more advanced analytics for Spotify themselves. So when somebody clicks follow your podcast on Spotify, we don't know that. Like, it's impossible for us to know. There are things that we can do to estimate certain types of things, but it's ultimately pretty hard. Uh, it's the same problem for every podcast hosting provider. If they show you a subscriber count, it's an estimation. It's not accurate, and it's very platform dependent. So the best suggestion I would have here is to, in addition to using the analytics on our platform as, a source of truth, go into go into Spotify, see the analytics there. They'll give you better analytics specifically for Spotify. Likewise with Apple Podcasts. So that's the recommendation that we have today.
hmm.
Yeah. And then email integrations. Listen time trigger. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, totally. Cool idea. I wonder if anyone's done this. I know Spotify doesn't have
It's
this. That'd be
interesting.
Spotify's like, hey, you were listening to this. What happened? Why'd you stop? Did it suck?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's we've talked about right now. You have a podcast page that has a list of your episodes, and we've kept it very minimal, um, consciously, because we feel like most people use Jellypod as a creation platform and not a distribution platform, and so you create your podcast, it goes to Spotify, YouTube, etc., all the good, the big places, and that's where you focus your distribution on. But I mean, I've always figured that we will come back to building out a Jellypod ecosystem as well, and that gives us more control about stuff like having Jellypod subscribers and setting up these kind of triggers and all that. So if you ever invest in that, I think we can definitely build tighter workflows and all these like email follow-ups, etc. Things.
Right. Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, yeah, so keep doing a video. Cool. Well, I know this is super active of a conversation today, and we're at 10:30. So just like always, normally we're just like, hey, well, around this time, we'll just make sure that everybody's asked some questions if they have any last minute questions they want us to answer. Um, Drop them in the chat. But if not, we're always accessible via support. So if you go to the bottom right hand corner of the app, click on need help. One of us will reach out as soon as possible. And then we also have our email. So contact at jellypod.ai. You can reach us or Pearson at jellypod.ai or Bilal, but try to use the contact one if possible.
Mm.
And then, yeah, so that's the weekly Wednesday, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for joining, guys. This was fun. Lively
yeah,
conversation today.
it's so fun. I mean, uh, yeah, it's cool. We get to talk Bilal, we get to talk with everybody. It's great.
Yeah.
So, and if you like hearing us talk, we're gonna plug it one more time at the end. Check out Creative Flux. It's our podcast. It comes out every week on Fridays about generative AI, media, specifically around images, video, audio, music, everything that if you're interested in AI and like how we're using it at a deeper level and what we care about, follow Creative Flux anywhere you get your podcasts. So, um, and on that note, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.